question, though. Should the Cavs be concerned about the Bulls? Skip, I'll give it to you.
Well, sure they should. And Stephen A., I've told you for years on this show that I always value NFL preseason games far more than I value NBA preseason games. But this was the rare, fascinating preseason NBA game to watch because of two factors. For the first time ever, the Cavs' new big three played together and started to find out, and we could watch, whether they could play together. What will be their new roles? They played high minutes. They played hard in this game because they were going against the team that will be their nemesis, perhaps, and their arch rival. And we saw Derrick Rose, for the first time in 2 years, put the pedal all the way to the metal in ways he did not through the World Cup stretch, where there were some whispers about, is he ever going to be quite the same? He was as explosive as ever and played with a confidence, a spring off that bad knee, both bad knees, confidence I had not seen from him in 2 years. Now, quickly back to the Cavs, who did click right away in ways that I didn't see the Heat new big three click in their first year, where you know how much they struggled through most of the first year. They clicked right away. But these are the issues I see. Kevin Love had his first poor shooting night. He goes 2 for 10 and 0 for 5 from 3. Kevin Love's going to have a hard time because he's going to suffer, as people have talked about, the Bosch syndrome. Even Bosch talked about what he went through his first year because Kevin Love isn't going to get as many shots as he got for the T-Wolves. And when he does get those shots, he knows he had better make them. And he missed all 5 of his three-pointers last night, after he'd been hot from 3 in games that he'd played without LeBron and especially without Kyrie. Speaking of those two, Kyrie started taking a bunch of shots. Kyrie likes to shoot the basketball. He wants it in his hand. What did he wind up taking? 19 shots to LeBron's 11 shots. I think LeBron, over time, isn't going to love this. They're going to have to find a happy medium because Kyrie degenerated a little bit into, I'm going to take D. Rose one-on-one, and we're going to go back and forth, mano a mano. Well, that guy, LeBron, he's pretty good. And I don't know if his ego is going to take standing on the side watching Kyrie go one-on-one with whoever it is, the point guard of the night. And I think that could be an issue going forward. Finally, to D. Rose. What he did do last night that he isn't often capable of doing is he made 4 out of 5 threes. That made him 12 out of 18 for the game. So all those kamikaze drives, which I don't think he can get away with from this point on because it's the Iverson syndrome. It's just too dangerous to keep driving like you're running through brick walls down the lane. If he can keep making those threes, he is lethal. He is unguardable. But you tell me, he's a 31% career three-point shooter. Do you think he'll be a Derrick Rose? Do you think he'll be that much better this year? Because if he makes 4 out of 5 every night, hey, they're going to win the East, is what I'm going to say.
Let me state this for the record so everybody can understand my position and how much how affectionately I feel for Derrick Rose. You know how much I love this brother's game. I contend to you that even with the big three in Miami, if Derrick Rose were healthy, there is no way in hell that the Miami Heat go to 4 consecutive NBA Finals. No way on earth. Somehow, some way, Chicago would have interrupted that stretch. Maybe 2 or 4, maybe 3 or 4, but 4 consecutive NBA Finals would not have happened for Miami.
But they did beat them head-to-head.
I understand that. I understand that. But, again, they were coming. Chicago was coming. And so now you have to look at this team, and that's why I say, to answer the question directly, LeBron is right. Chicago is a threat. There is no question about it.
Well, he said before the game that Chicago's just better because they're more experienced.
Well, he's saying they're better because they're more experienced. I'm saying even once Cleveland experience comes into the equation, Chicago's going to have their own camaraderie, cohesiveness, chemistry, experience that enters the equation as well. And I am telling y'all right now, when Derrick Rose is healthy, and I've said this on many occasions, Derrick Rose is a top 2 league MVP candidate. This dude is electrifying. This dude is a superstar of the highest order. He is somebody that I believe, when completely healthy, is a fitting replacement to the Jordan era. That's how I feel about Derrick Rose.
You're saying he's on that level?
I'm saying talent-wise, this dude is that lethal. He is that electrifying. It's just that he's small. He wasn't 6'6" like MJ. You understand? Couldn't create matchup problems, but the quickness, the athleticism. The only person that rivals Derrick Rose is Russell Westbrook. And to me, it wasn't an accident that he could have dropped 40 or 45 if he wanted to last night, because he was going against a young stud in Kyrie Irving, who I keep telling you can ball. Kyrie can ball. So with all of that being said, let's analyze the Chicago Bulls and ask ourselves about the legitimacy of LeBron James' statement. You acquired Pau Gasol, averaging 17.4 points last year in Los Angeles. He's not what he used to be. Certainly the defensive tenacity hasn't been there. That was a problem that they were complaining about Pau Gasol in L.A. But he can still average 17 points a game. Playing for Tom Thibodeau, you know he's going to play better defense than he did for Mike D'Antoni in L.A. last year. So I'm not worried about that. You're pairing him with Joakim Noah, with Taj Gibson. That's a big plus, because the Bulls never lost who they had. They drafted Doug McDermott, who's a sharpshooter out of Cretan. You've got also this kid, Morotic, out of Spain, Real Madrid, who's also a 6'10" sharpshooter. So you got two shooters. You added Derrick Rose and Pau Gasol, and you didn't lose Jimmy Butler, you didn't lose Joakim Noah, you didn't lose Taj Gibson or any of the crew that you had. Chicago is legit. If Derrick Rose is healthy, I believe in some people's eyes, Chicago is a legitimate favorite to knock off Cleveland and come out of the East. Now, with LeBron, with Kevin Love, with Kyrie Irving, give them some size, make sure they play some defense, and obviously Cleveland is who you flow with. You flow with them. But I'm telling you right now, it's a pick 'em. It literally is. If both teams remain healthy, Skip, it's a toss-up.
Okay. I'm giving the Cavs a significant edge, and I'm putting some stock in what I saw last night because of their superior depth and their superior ball movement. And I did like David Blatt's new offense. It has that Princeton, but they move the ball like crazy.
The man knows how to coach. Okay. The man knows how to coach.
Chicago was having trouble last night fitting back in with D. Rose because you have to fit around him on offense. He dominates the basketball. He is going to shoot it, and he's going to dribble the air out of it.
But question. Okay. I need a question. I get where you're going from, but that's not my question to you. That's not where I'm going. I'm saying Cleveland's got 82 games. Chicago's got 82 games to figure out. Let's say, when I make the comparison, I'm saying to you, Skip, I'm taking Cleveland at its best, and I'm taking Chicago at its best, believing that over the course of 82 games, you have plenty of time to gel and work out all those kinks. So because of that, I am asking the question, them at their best, you still give Cleveland a significant edge? Because I don't.
I do, because I'm not sure how easy it is to play with this guy. It would be the equivalent of if Russell Westbrook with Derrick Rose. Okay. And I said this from the start. That's why he doesn't have any rings and why I don't love this team with him as point guard.
But you also said
he is the high-volume shooting point guard.
That's fair, but you also said, and I'm coming back at you, you also said that you were concerned about the same thing with Kyrie. So what I'm saying to you is that if you have those same questions, you have the same questions about Cleveland that you have about Derrick Rose in Chicago.
I'm going to guess. It took the Heatles, as they were called in that first year, it took them 2 years to gel, right? The first year it did not gel because we know what happened against Dallas in the finals, right?
Yes.
It was a meltdown by not just LeBron, but the whole show melted down.
Right.
Okay, in the second year, they began to figure themselves out. I think this team has a chance to figure itself out much quicker than that team.
And I'm saying to you, I trust defense, the ability to stop somebody more than anybody else. And I'm also saying to you that when you look at Chicago, do not underestimate this key pivotal point as this season progresses. Unlike most other teams in the NBA, Chicago is a rare team that stays in its lane and plays its game. They understand there's nothing to battle with offensively. This dude is the captain of the ship here on the offensive side of the ball. We go where Derrick Rose is going to take us when he's on the floor. We just play our role. Some of us rebound. Some of us block shots. We all defend. You got Jimmy Butler, who's improving his jump shot.
By the way, he didn't play last night, so that's a point
you got Jimmy
for the Bulls.
You got Jimmy Butler, who's improving his jump shot. You've got McDermott and this guy Morotic, who are supposed to be shooters. You've got Derrick Rose added. You've got an inside presence, at least offensively, in a Pau Gasol, who's a legitimate 7-footer. I'm saying to you, you simply cannot ignore that, particularly within the Eastern Conference.
I agree with you. Chicago will be significantly better on defense than the Cavs will be. That's going to be the Cavs' downfall if there is one. But this offense last night, dare I say, the Cleveland offense, it looked San Antonio-like.
Really?
Now, can the egos continue? It did.
Wait a second.
The ball was really flowing, man.
That's interesting you say that, because Deontay just told me, according to Westgate's Superbook, the Cavs have the best odds to win the title. And right behind them are the Spurs.
Well, that's wrong.
Deontay,
tell Deontay he's wrong about that, or whoever made those odds is wrong. The Spurs should be favored to win this title.
Cavs are favored to win the title.
Only thing that I would add is this. I get what you're saying. But the other part is this. When we look at LeBron and Cleveland and these boys, we're talking champions. This is a championship conversation. Right. The Chicago Bulls, assuming Derrick Rose stays healthy, may be better suited to go up against the West than Cleveland is.
Okay, that could be the case. All right, final quick question. Kevin Love, how do you think ultimately by... Let's go to April. How will he be fitting in by April? Will he be happy with his role? Because he had 13 rebounds last night, which is really good.
Only
he just gets them just standing flat-footed for the most part.
Don't worry about Kevin Love, because LeBron James may be the most unselfish superstar we've ever seen.
I would buy that.
He has no problem distributing the basketball. And if you can put the ball in the hole, particularly from the perimeter, which is what... See, LeBron, even though he's unselfish, it's a different thing altogether when you just throwing the ball inside and waiting for somebody in the post to deliver the goods for you. That's kind of boring to a lot of guys that primarily play on the perimeter. But when you're called upon to create and do things to facilitate others getting some points, and you're dancing on somebody and you're kicking the ball out, guys don't mind that. And LeBron is the kind of good dude that will penetrate into the teeth of a defense and kick it out to an open shooter. Kevin Love can deliver the goods on that. So because of it, I don't believe it's going to be a problem, because Kevin Love is going to get his shot opportunities, and that's all you're concerned
remember,
about.
Chris Bosh made this point going back, 4 or 5 weeks ago. He went through hell that first year because the finger got pointed at him, and he couldn't find his place. And to me, just to me, Chris Bosh is a little better player, all-around player, than Kevin Love.
Yes, but Chris Bosh is not a better shooter than Kevin Love. And he can shoot, but he's not a better shooter. But Chris Bosh is the #1 option in Toronto, was a guy that could go inside out. Not only could he shoot a little three, he could shoot a 15 to 17-footer, but he was also given the license to operate in the post when he so chose. When Sam Mitchell, who was coach of the year, obviously was doing that. What you have is a situation with Kevin Love, when he gets points in the paint, it's usually off a rebound or something of that nature. Primarily his points, he can shoot from the perimeter, and he's a better spot-up shooter. And if you got a Kyrie who can dance on you, he can boogie on you, and you've got a LeBron James who's a threat because he's a locomotive coming into the paint and he can kick it out, then you're going to get open shots if you're Kevin Love, and you can capitalize on that.
Okay, just last quick point.
Clutch. Get out of here.
In the clutch, I'm taking Chris Bosh over Kevin Love to make big clutch shots.
As a
Stephen
shooter,
A., not too concerned about Love fitting in with the Cavs. He thinks LeBron will help that out, and you say he might experience a little Bosh syndrome in the beginning. Moving on, we got to talk about